advice would you give to an aspiring chef?
You know, you have to stay focused and you have to work hard. Say it takes you an hour to do a stack of peas, it's too slow. Push to do them in half an hour. Always push yourself. But to do the job well at the same time, that's the key, is when you can do something well and fast.
What age did you realise you were ready to move on to the next step?
Well, I started my career in Harrogate. And then I went to Box Tree in Ilkley in West Yorkshire, which was one of only 4 restaurants to have 2 stars in Michelin in 1979. There were no 3 stars in Britain then, there was maybe 8 or 10 1 stars, so it was a gastronomic desert. Every night I used to have to say goodnight to the bosses, like we all did. It's quite old-fashioned, really. They used to tell me stories about the great restaurants of France and the great restaurants of London. And they told me about this restaurant called Le Gavroche. And so I thought one day I'll write to them for a job. They sent me an application in French. I got that wrong. I went for another interview in the New Forest. I got back to London. I'd missed my coach back to Yorkshire, so I had to walk the streets. I was walking just at the back of Victoria Station. I was walking down this road called Pimlico Road, and I turned right at the top of it. I walked up that road, which was Lower Sloane Street. I found myself looking through the windows of a very smart restaurant. I could tell by the service, by the desserts, by the petit fours. I could just tell. I looked at the name above the door and it said Le Gavroche. So the next morning I went round, knocked on the back kitchen door. They were closed for lunch, but the pastry chef who did the mise en place was there. He told me where the Rue head office was. So I went there, I walked through the door, and to the desk to my left was a man called Albert Roux. And I spoke to him. He gave me a job, and that's how it all happened.
What was the best time where you felt in the kitchen, you were in control?
Well, the truth is you're never really in control because you've got to trust the people around you.
Yeah.
That's what you've got to do. So it's not about controlling, it's about letting people express themselves and deliver the standard which is required. When I had 3 stars in Michelin, we were doing 100 covers a night. You know, so you have to stay focused and you have to build system, because strategy will compensate for talent, but talent never compensates for strategy. So you have to also be a strategist, especially when you're doing those numbers at that level. And by building strategy, people around you stay focused and disciplined, then you deliver consistency. Without focus, without discipline, without strategy, you'll never get consistency.
What would you suggest? So say you were a 16-year-old and you finished your apprenticeship, what would you suggest would be the next step, where to go?
You shouldn't look at title. You shouldn't look at money. Look at knowledge. Knowledge is your passport to realise everything that you want. I knocked on Pierre Kaufmann's door when I was a young man. He said he had no work. So I said to Pierre Kaufmann, I'll work for nothing. He gave me a job. I worked for 3 weeks when I couldn't afford to work for 3 weeks because I wanted to work with him. I wanted to take knowledge and his philosophy. 3 weeks later, he said, Marco, do you want a cup of tea? I said, love one, chef. He said, Marco, I'd like to put you on the payroll. So sometimes you have to give before you receive in life. This is just not a college course, this is an opportunity. And this will prepare you for the next journey. So take as much as you can from this college and put it to good use. And don't think about the hours. In your spare time, read, read, read on the great chefs of the world if you choose to be a chef.